So I think when I first started looking into programming, when I first got interested in the topic, I was probably only about 15 years old. It was probably only a couple of years ago. And I'd say that's probably the same age as a lot of people that are looking into programming these days. A lot of kids that are seeing games and wanting to know how they can make it themselves, or seeing things on the internet and wanting to be able to create it themselves. And that was the same thing I had when I was younger, and that's what got me into ActionScript. And that was what got me looking to try and find a really good resource so that I could actually learn and I could actually get to a pro level where I could actually make the things I saw. And I'd say that's exactly like a lot of the people out there that want to learn. They're just like me, and I'd say that I'm a good example for them. Yeah, so when I was looking into learning ActionScript, I looked around the web. I tried to find a lot of resources. I found quite a few good resources. I found ebooks, I found some tutorials, I found a couple of videos, but none of them really helped me, because the problem was they didn't explain the core concepts. They just tried to spoon feed you code. They tried to give you it and then they explained it afterwards, but they didn't really tell you why you were doing things. They just tried to explain it without really justifying the reasons, and it just left you confused and you didn't really know what was going on. But then I came across Zero to Geek, which taught it in an absolutely brilliant way, because what it did was it started with the core concepts, the things you really needed to know, like variables and functions, and it built up from there. So it didn't just throw you in at the deep end, it told you what you needed to know and then it built it up from there, which just made everything click. I loved it. It just all made sense to me. And that wasn't the only brilliant thing about Zero to Geek, it's also the support. Zero to Geek has a brilliant support network, because I could, for example, on top of the brilliant tutorials, if I got stuck on anything at all, I could send an email to Ben, the founder, and I would get an instant reply. Within 24 hours I'd have a reply. So whenever I got stuck on something or I had a problem that I just couldn't solve, I could email him and straight away I'd have some help. And the brilliant thing was, he never told me exactly what to do. He'd always try and help me, and he'd always try and guide me to the answer, just like a teacher would in a real school. And it was brilliant because it really made the coding click in my head and the programming click, and that's why Zero to Geek is such a brilliant resource for you to get for yourself, or for you to become a part of, because it's not just part of it's not just about the teaching with Zero to Geek, it's also about the community. That's the brilliant thing about it. There's a brilliant community sense to Zero to Geek, because you can engage with a number of other students, for example on the Facebook, who are also going through the exact same thing you've gone through, or you're going through the exact same thing they've gone through, because you're going through the same learning experience and you're bound to get stuck on the exact same things they did, and they are willing to help you with these things. And so, for example, whenever you get stuck on something, you can just visit the Facebook and ask another student and they'll be able to help you. So if Ben doesn't have the time to reply to you, you can instantly get a reply off another student, or you can collaborate and work with them. It's just a really nice community feeling. It's a really good learning environment, and if you want to learn how to program, then it's the best place to go.